Most people think reading others requires clever questions. It doesn't. The truth is, the more you talk, the less you see. The more you explain yourself, the more power you give away. And the faster you react, the easier you are to read, not them. We live in a world where everyone is performing. People curate their words, polish their stories, and wear masks designed to impress, seduce, or protect. If you rely only on what people say, you will almost always misunderstand who they truly are. Words are cheap, patterns are not. Stoic philosophy teaches something radically different. You don't uncover the truth by interrogation. You uncover it through patience, silence, and disciplined observation. When you stop chasing clarity through conversation, you start receiving it through behavior. Think about the moments when you felt betrayed, disappointed, or blindsided. It wasn't because you lacked intelligence. It was because you trusted words over actions, promises over consistency, emotion over evidence. In this video, you'll learn how Stoics read people quietly and without force. Not to manipulate, not to dominate, but to protect your peace, sharpen your judgment, and stop being fooled by appearances. 1. Stop listening to words. Start watching patterns. Most people believe truth hides inside what others say. Stoics know better. Words are easy. Anyone can rehearse them. Anyone can apologize convincingly, promise sincerely, or sound wise in the right moment. Words adapt. They bend to situations. They change when incentives change. If you judge people by their words alone, you will always be one step behind their intentions. Patterns, on the other hand, do not lie. A Stoic does not ask, "What did they say?" A Stoic asks, "What do they keep doing?" Pay attention to repetition. Notice what someone does when nothing dramatic is happening. Notice how they act when there is no reward, no audience, no pressure to perform. Character reveals itself not in exceptional moments, but in ordinary ones. What repeats becomes truth. Think about how many times you trusted someone because they sounded sincere. They explained themselves well. They knew the right words, and yet, weeks later, the same behavior returned. The same excuses, the same patterns. The disappointment didn't come from a lack of warning. It came from ignoring the evidence in front of you. Stoicism trains you to separate noise from signal. The noise is emotion-heavy language. The signal is behavior over time. Someone who respects you does so consistently, not only when it benefits them. Someone who values honesty does not become evasive when accountability appears. Someone who is reliable does not need to constantly explain why they weren't reliable this time. Patterns reveal priorities. Excuses reveal avoidance. A powerful Stoic habit is this: delay your conclusions, but never delay your observations. Instead of confronting people immediately, watch quietly. Instead of reacting to every explanation, collect data. How do they respond when plans fall apart? How do they act when they make a mistake? How do they behave when you stop over-giving, over-explaining, or over-accommodating? Silence sharpens perception. When you stop filling the space with words, you allow reality to speak, and reality always speaks in patterns. A person's tone may change, but their habits remain. Their story may evolve, but their behavior stays familiar. This is why Stoics value time as a diagnostic tool. Time removes effort. Time exposes defaults. Anyone can act kind for a day. Very few can sustain integrity without slipping when comfort or convenience is threatened. If you want to read people clearly, stop interrogating them with questions. Start observing them through consistency. Ask yourself simple, unemotional questions. Do their actions align with their values? Do their behaviors match their self-image? Do they repeat the same cycle after every apology? You're not judging, you are noticing, and noticing protects you. When you rely on patterns instead of promises, you stop being confused by mixed signals. You stop internalizing other people's contradictions. You no longer ask, why are they like this? You simply see that they are like this. That clarity gives you freedom. Freedom to choose distance. Freedom to set boundaries without drama. Freedom to walk away without needing closure. Stoicism does not teach suspicion. It teaches discernment. People show you who they are every day, quietly, through repetition. The Stoic advantage is simple. You finally decide to watch. 2. Silence is a test. Most people fail. Most people reveal themselves the moment you stop reacting. They're comfortable as long as you respond on cue, as long as you explain yourself, as long as you reassure them, mirror their emotions, or fill the silence with words. But the moment you withdraw your reactions, something interesting happens. The mask begins to slip. Stoicism understands silence not as absence, but as pressure. When you speak less, you create space. And in that space, people project. They expose their expectations, their insecurities, and their need for control. Silence removes the script they prepared for you. Without feedback, they don't know which role to play. Watch what happens when you don't answer immediately. Some people become anxious. They follow up. They over-explain. They grow uncomfortable because silence feels like loss of control. Others become irritated. They push, provoke, or attempt to dominate the interaction just to restore familiar dynamics. A few remain calm and respectful, unaffected by your stillness. Each response tells you something important. Stoics train themselves to resist the impulse to fill silence, not out of coldness, but out of discipline. When you react quickly, you reveal your emotional entry points. You show people what affects you, what unsettles you, what they can use to steer you. Silence removes leverage. It forces others to act without knowing your position. This is why silence is such a powerful diagnostic tool. If someone respects you, they will respect your silence. If someone depends on control, they will struggle with it. If someone hides intentions, they will leak them when deprived of feedback. Think about past interactions where you felt drained or confused. Chances are you were doing most of the emotional labor. You were explaining, soothing, clarifying, justifying. Silence would have exposed the imbalance immediately. Stoicism teaches you to stop managing other people's discomfort. Not every silence requires explanation. A calm pause is not aggression. A delayed response is not rejection. A quiet presence is not a weakness. In fact, silence strengthens perception. When you are not busy reacting, your mind sharpens. You notice shifts in tone. You sense urgency where there shouldn't be any. You see manipulation attempts that once felt like misunderstandings. Silence also reveals how people behave when they cannot extract reassurance from you. Some grow kinder, others grow colder. Some show patience, others show entitlement. None of this requires confrontation. The information arrives naturally. Marcus Aurelius wrote about withdrawing inward, not to escape others, but to regain clarity. Silence is that withdrawal in action. It is how you step back without leaving, how you observe without engaging, how you protect your inner order while remaining present. This does not mean becoming distant or unresponsive in all situations. Stoicism is not an emotional shutdown, it is emotional sovereignty. You choose when to speak, not because you are pressured, but because it is purposeful. Practice this carefully. The next time a conversation feels tense, resist the urge to rush. Let pauses exist. Let questions hang. Let others reveal how they handle uncertainty. Do not stare. Do not perform silence dramatically. Simply remain grounded and attentive. You will notice something subtle but powerful. People begin showing you who they are when they are not being managed. Silence is not a wall. It is a mirror. And once you learn to use it, you stop being surprised by people. You start understanding them long before they ever realize they've been read. 3. Watch how they treat those who can't offer anything. One of the clearest windows into a person's character appears when there is nothing to gain. Most people are polite when they need something. They are charming when influence is at stake. They are generous when recognition is watching. None of this reveals who they are. It only reveals what they want at that moment. Stoicism teaches you to observe where power disappears. Pay attention to how someone treats people who cannot help them advance. Service workers, subordinates, strangers, anyone with no leverage, no status, and no ability to reward or punish them. In these moments, effort fades, masks loosen, true attitudes surface. A person's values do not change with hierarchy. Only behavior does. Someone who is genuinely respectful does not switch personalities when the audience changes. Their tone remains steady. Their patience does not evaporate when convenience is gone. If kindness exists only when it is useful, it is not kindness, it is a strategy. This is why Stoics look for consistency across social layers. Notice how someone speaks about people who are not present. Notice how they describe those with less power. Do they mock, dismiss, dehumanize? Or do they speak with restraint and fairness even when no one would object if they didn't? These details matter. A person who enjoys exerting power over the powerless is not strong. They are compensating. Stoicism recognizes this as a sign of inner disorder. True strength does not need to dominate to feel significant. Many people mistake charm for virtue. Charm is often selective. It appears where it is profitable and disappears where it is not. Virtue, by contrast, is boringly consistent. It does not adjust to impress. It simply is. Think back to moments when you defended someone who later betrayed you. Chances are you judged them by how they treated you, not by how they treated others. You assumed your experience represented their character. Stoicism warns against this narrow lens. How someone treats you is a single data point. How they treat everyone else is the pattern. This is especially important in positions of authority. Leaders reveal themselves not when things go well, but when they speak to those beneath them. Pay attention to how they give feedback. Do they correct with respect or with humiliation? Do they listen or interrupt? Do they acknowledge effort or only demand more? These are not small details. They are characters in motion. Stoics also caution against being impressed by performative morality. Some people display kindness loudly but practice it selectively. They need witnesses. Their virtue collapses when anonymity arrives. Quiet decency, on the other hand, persists without applause. You do not need to confront these observations. You do not need to warn others. Your task is not to fix or expose. Your task is to see clearly and choose wisely. When you begin watching how people treat those who offer nothing, confusion fades. You stop making excuses for behavior that has nothing to do with circumstances and everything to do with disposition. This awareness changes how you move through the world. You invest less in appearances and more in alignment. You become less reactive and more selective. You choose relationships based on character, not charisma. Stoicism does not make you cynical. It makes you precise. People show their true nature when power is removed. The Stoic simply learns to notice and remember. 4. Emotional reactions. Expose hidden motives. Nothing reveals a person faster than what unsettles them. People can rehearse words, they can manage impressions, they can maintain a mask as long as the situation stays comfortable. But the moment something touches a hidden fear, desire, or insecurity, control weakens. Emotion leaks truth. Stoicism teaches you to observe reactions, not statements. Watch closely when expectations are challenged, when attention is withdrawn, when control slips from their hands. Emotional reactions are not random. They point directly to what someone is attached to: status, validation, dominance, image, or security. A Stoic asks a simple question: what does this reaction protect? Anger often guards entitlement. Defensiveness guards ego. Jealousy guards insecurity. Excessive charm guards dependence on approval. These reactions are not moral failures. They are signals, and signals are valuable when you know how to read them. Notice how someone responds when you succeed. Do they genuinely celebrate, or do they minimize, redirect, or subtly compete? Notice how they react when they are corrected. Do they reflect, or do they deflect and blame? These moments bypass intention and expose motivation. Stoicism emphasizes self-mastery because anyone ruled by emotion can be steered. A person who cannot tolerate frustration will pressure others. A person who cannot handle uncertainty will seek control. A person who cannot sit with envy will be undermined quietly. You do not need to provoke these reactions. Life does that naturally. All you need is awareness. Pay attention to patterns of emotional volatility. Someone who oscillates between praise and withdrawal is not unpredictable. They are regulating their inner state through others. Someone who explodes when challenged is revealing a fragile identity. Someone who plays the victim when boundaries appear is signaling manipulation through guilt. The Stoic does not judge these responses harshly. Judgment clouds perception. Instead, the Stoic records them calmly, like data. Ask yourself, what consistently triggers them? Who do they become under pressure? What emotion shows up when they don't get what they want? This information protects you from false closeness. You stop confusing intensity with depth. You stop mistaking emotional expression for honesty. Some of the most dangerous dynamics are emotionally charged but ethically empty. Stoicism also reminds you to monitor your own reactions. The same principle applies inwardly. What triggers you reveals where you are still attached. Observing others requires first observing yourself. If you react unconsciously, you lose clarity. This mutual awareness creates distance without coldness. You remain present, but not entangled. You understand without absorbing. Emotional reactions are like cracks in a wall. They show where pressure accumulates. Over time, these cracks form a map of fears, a map of desires, a map of unspoken priorities. When you see this map clearly, you stop taking things personally. You realize that most reactions have little to do with you and everything to do with the other person's inner economy. This is Stoic freedom. You no longer argue with reactions. You no longer chase explanations. You simply adjust your boundaries based on what has been revealed. Emotion does not lie. It leaks. And the Stoic, calm and observant, learns to read what others cannot hide, even from themselves. 5. Time reveals. What masks are meant to hide? Time is the most honest observer you will ever have. People can sustain an image for a moment. They can perform patience, kindness, discipline, or loyalty when the situation is brief or rewarding. But time removes effort. Over time, behavior defaults to truth. This is why Stoics never rush conclusions. They let time do the interrogation. A mask requires energy. Time drains it. When interactions slow down, when excitement fades, when novelty disappears, patterns stabilize. What remains is not who someone wants to be seen as, but who they actually are. This is why haste clouds judgment. The faster you move, the easier it is for illusion to keep up. Stoicism values delay not as hesitation, but as strategy. Notice how people behave when things are no longer urgent. Do they remain consistent, or does their interest wane? Notice what happens after the apology is passed and the emotional peak is gone. Do they correct behavior, or do they repeat the same cycle under a different explanation? Time exposes repetition without resistance. This is especially important in relationships that escalate quickly. Intensity often disguises instability. Fast attachment can feel like connection, but Stoics remain cautious. Anything that pushes urgency before trust is earned deserves observation. People who demand closeness early often struggle with consistency later. Time also reveals intentions through patience. A person who respects you does not rush you. They allow space. They honor pacing. Someone driven by control, validation, or extraction will grow impatient when things do not move in their favor. Watch how long their respect lasts when gratification is delayed. Stoics also understand that time reveals how people handle responsibility. Early enthusiasm often looks impressive. Sustained reliability is rare. Who follows through when no one is reminding them? Who remains steady when circumstances become inconvenient? These are not dramatic moments. They are quiet ones, and quiet moments are where truth settles. When you allow time to work, you stop needing explanations. You stop chasing clarity through confrontation. The answers arrive on their own, through consistency or its absence. This reduces emotional conflict and protects your energy. There is a Stoic discipline in not deciding too soon. Not every relationship requires immediate categorization. Not every behavior needs instant interpretation. Time provides context that emotion cannot. It filters exaggeration, it neutralizes charm, it exposes contradictions without effort. Many people get hurt not because they ignored red flags, but because they rushed attachment. They trusted before observing. They invested before understanding. Stoicism corrects this by slowing the pace internally, even if life moves fast externally. Time also tests self-control. People who lack discipline reveal themselves through impatience. They push. They are under pressure. They become irritated by delays. They frame your boundaries as obstacles. This is not a coincidence. Urgency often hides insecurity or ulterior motives. The Stoic remains unmoved. By allowing time, you remove yourself from manipulation. You deny others the leverage of urgency. You stay grounded while situations unfold naturally. Time does not accuse. It does not argue. It simply shows. And when you learn to trust time more than words, you stop being confused by contradictions. You stop rationalizing inconsistency. You see clearly who stays aligned when nothing is being gained. This is not suspicion, it is patience with awareness. Time reveals what masks are meant to hide. And the Stoic is willing to wait. 6. Read, don't react. The final Stoic discipline. The final mistake most people make is confusing understanding with engagement. They notice patterns, they sense intentions, they recognize inconsistencies, and then they react. Stoicism teaches something far more difficult and far more powerful. Restraint after clarity. Once you see clearly, the instinct is to correct, confront, or expose. But reaction pulls you back into the very dynamics you work to understand. It hands control back to emotion. The Stoic discipline is not merely reading people. It is remaining sovereign once you have read them. Observation without reaction is freedom. When you react, you reveal what matters to you. You show where you are attached. You invite debate, denial, and distortion. People rarely respond to exposure with honesty. They respond with defense. Stoicism understands that truth does not need an argument to remain true. This is why the Stoic reads quietly and moves deliberately. You do not owe confrontation to everyone you understand. You do not owe explanations to those who have already revealed their nature. Clarity is not a call to action, it is a call to choice. The Stoic choice is simple. Adjust distance, not drama. If someone is unreliable, you reduce dependence. If someone is manipulative, you limit access. If someone lacks respect, you withdraw engagement. No speeches, no ultimatums, no emotional displays. This is not avoidance, it is precision. Many people believe strength looks like confrontation. Stoicism teaches that strength looks like self-command. The most powerful response is often none at all. Silence, distance, and consistency communicate more than words ever could. Reading without reacting also protects your peace. When you stop trying to change others, you stop exhausting yourself. You accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. This acceptance is not resignation, it is strategic alignment with truth. Stoics understand that people are shaped by their inner state, not your reasoning. You cannot argue someone into virtue. You cannot force awareness onto someone committed to blindness. What you can do is remove yourself from harm. This discipline also refines your self-respect. When you react impulsively, you trade dignity for relief. When you hold your ground quietly, you maintain authority over yourself. The latter compounds over time. Others sense it. They adjust, or they fall away. Both outcomes are beneficial. Reading people without reacting also sharpens your judgment. You stop personalizing behavior, you stop internalizing dysfunction. You see patterns as patterns, not insults. This emotional distance allows you to choose relationships from clarity rather than hope. The Stoic does not need closure conversations. Closure comes from understanding. Once you see clearly, the need to explain dissolves. Your actions become your answer. There is a calm that comes from this discipline. You move slower, but surer. You speak less, but with intention. You trust yourself more than appearances. The ultimate Stoic lesson is this: knowledge is only power when it does not enslave you. If understanding leads to obsession, resentment, or control-seeking, it is incomplete. True mastery is understanding followed by peace. Read, detach, decide. You do not need to expose people. You only need to stop giving the wrong people access to your time, your energy, and your inner life. That is Stoic clarity. Reading people is not about becoming suspicious or emotionally distant. It is about becoming calm, grounded, and clear. In this video, you learned that Stoic insight does not come from clever questions or sharp confrontation. It comes from observation, from watching patterns instead of promises, from using silence as a mirror, from noticing how people treat those with no power, how they react under pressure, how time slowly removes their masks, and finally, how true strength lies in reading without reacting. The goal was never to control others. The goal was to regain control over yourself. When you stop reacting impulsively, you stop feeding confusion. When you trust behavior over words, you stop being misled. And when you choose distance over drama, you protect your peace without needing explanations or closure. Now, the real work begins. Practice this quietly. Observe more than you speak. Pause before you respond. Let time and consistency reveal what emotions once hid. You don't need to change anyone. You only need to see clearly and choose wisely. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your attention matters, and your commitment to inner discipline sets you apart in a noisy world. If this perspective resonated with you, stay connected. More Stoic lessons are coming to help you sharpen your judgment, strengthen your boundaries, and move through life with calm authority. Until next time, remain observant, remain steady, and guard your inner peace.